Well, number one, thanks for coming today, and I want to thank Councilor Gibson for being here. We are making history today in the city of Albuquerque, and we're doing it for the right reasons. I will be signing legislation to make Albuquerque the first city in the country to have gender pay equity as an incentive from a purchasing standpoint in the city of Albuquerque. As I said, this is the first of its kind legislation in the United States, and we're doing this for a very specific reason. After decades of federal law that says men and women should make equal pay for equal work, women in this country are making 23% less than men for doing the same work in certain situations. And in the city of Albuquerque, we don't think that's right, and we want to change that, and we want to do it with incentives. And so what we've done is we've crafted legislation, and it passed 8 for and 0 against at the city council. There was obviously a councilor missing on the night of the vote to put this into law. And what this does, it gives a 5% preference to companies who want to do business with the city of Albuquerque, who can show that they take gender pay equity seriously. And they're going to do that with a form that they've already been filling out for the last year in the city of Albuquerque. It's the same form they've already been using for 4 years at the state of New Mexico. And what we're going to do, if you're a company that wants this preference, you will simply fill out the same form you've been filling out. Our Office of Human Rights at the City of Albuquerque, and Annabelle Romero is here representing that office, will certify your company. And when you put in a bid, you will then have a 5% preference over companies that haven't filled out the form. And actually, you have to fill out the form, but companies who cannot show that they are taking gender pay equity seriously. The initial goal of this legislation is to guide companies to get within 10%. The ultimate goal is 0. We are already working on legislation. In fact, it's already crafted, I'm told, to actually take this to 0. And that will happen while I'm still the mayor of the city of Albuquerque. But we had a task force, and I want to thank the members of that task force. Councilor Gibson was on that task force. Martha Burke was on that task force. Clara Apodaca, Jeanette Candelaria, and Debbie Stover. And you met how many times? Multiple times. I mean, I went to several meetings.
Multiple times. We met over the course of about a year.
And talked about what is the best way to use this incentive to get gender pay equity moving in the right direction. And they came up with this goal of 10%, which is this legislation has, and of course we'll move that to 0 in the next year to year and a half. Before we did this, we actually wanted to take a look at our organization. If the number is 23% nationally of women making less than men for the same work, we wanted to know what the city of Albuquerque looked like. So we did a comprehensive study of our organization, and we found about a year or so ago that it was 6.3%. We are making efforts consistently, and I'm happy to report that we've dropped that to 5.3%, and we're moving in the right direction as a city. The state of New Mexico, I think, also has a gender pay gap that is much higher than the city of Albuquerque. So once again, we're doing this in a way that we think gets people moving in the right direction. And for those 2/3 of households in America that have a female who is the primary breadwinner, we think this is good news. We think this makes us attractive nationally for women-owned businesses that want to move, start, and thrive in the city of Albuquerque. And we think it sends the right message. And with that, I will go ahead and sign the legislation, and then I'll let Councilor Gibson make her comments as well. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you.
You bet.
I'd just like to reiterate that this is just a first start. We're going to be looking at this ordinance over time. The important thing is that we need to collect data. And in collecting that data, that will encourage employers to look at the pay scale that they offer with respect to a gender and job category. We're going to be looking at this data as we move forward. My goal is to tighten that so that we can one day, hopefully soon, hit 0. And I thank the mayor for his leadership.
Well, this is, like I say, this is the right thing to do, and the number is here actually in the state of New Mexico. So the gender pay gap that's been documented is 23% across the nation. It's 21% in New Mexico, and we want that to be 0.